Hey guys, thanks for joining us in Ocean City Kayak today. Of course, it's kayak related. I'm going to talk about paddles today. We are a Bending Branches dealer, and we pretty much support Bending Branches as our paddle supplier. And I want to go over the different types, different styles, different weights, different feels, different uses, all this stuff. But I want to make it real clear. These paddles are important, not only to paddle kayaks, but even to pedal drive kayaks. And I'll get to that later. I know a lot of people say, how can a paddle be good for a pedal drive? Well, I'll explain why. So as a Hobie guy, it took me many years to kind of give up the paddle industry, meaning I was a paddler before I became a peddler. And as now time goes on, I found myself going back to paddling quite a bit, even with a pedal drive kayak, depending on the scenario. But the scenario that I'm speaking of is shallow water fishing. And that's when I started finding myself using my paddle quite a bit. So today, I want to go over the Bending Branches varieties of paddles, and I'm going to give you a quick, brief explanation of what I think these paddles are good for. Starting with this. This is the Bending Branches Ace Angler. It's the Angler Ace. Very lightweight, good plastic blade, a great carbon shaft. This is a fixed push button 240 centimeter paddle. So this is 240 centimeter. What does that mean? 240 centimeters refers to the length of this paddle. So at 240 centimeter, I probably am only going to use this paddle for boats that are 32 inches or less in width. And the reason for that is because I don't want to scrape my hands or knuckles as I'm paddling. And again, as we alluded to, there are kayaks now that people are using the pedal drive. So with a 240 paddle, if you're on a pedal drive that's 34 inches wide, this paddle may be a little short when you go to use it. So if you want to duplicate and use all the advantages of your kayak for far as paddling, pedaling, then you need the right paddle. 240 centimeter, Bending Branches, Ace Angler. This is one of the great paddles. 240 centimeters, I'm going to recommend anything 32 inches or lower in width. This is what we'll go with. You'll notice next in line is the Bending Branches Angler Pro. Now we get into even a lighter paddle. This one here, again, is a push button, adjustable ferrule. One of the great advantages of all Bending Branches paddles is it has an increment of length. So if you want a quick measurement of a fish, we're not talking here for a tournament, we're talking for just some knowledge. You can easily gauge what length you have caught because you can take your paddle out, put your fish on this measurement. So again, I don't want to take away, this is more of a fiberglass blade and a carbon shaft. Again, great paddle. This one here is 260 centimeters. So you'll notice much longer for that wider kayak. So again, different strokes for different folks. So now I want to show you my favorite paddle, and it is the Bending Branches Navigator. This is a carbon shaft with a wood blade. And you'll notice the wood blade also has some carbon fiber reinforcement on the ends. So when you're digging against rocks or pushing off, it doesn't necessarily damage the wood. I've now had mine for 4 years and not a bit of damage on this blade. Unbelievably how strong this wood holds up. So again, increments on the shaft. We're looking at a 250 centimeter paddle here. So it's good for almost all boats of 34 inches or wider. Until you get absurdly big of 40 inches, then we want to jump this paddle up even more in length. So again, this is the Navigator Bending Branches wood carbon shaft. Great paddle. Great lightweight paddle. So then, lastly, I want to show you an Impressions Bending Branches paddle. Why do I show you this paddle? mainly because I'm a wood guy. This is a 260 centimeter paddle, which is extremely long. But what I want to show this to guys for is that it's the pro angler's complement. So when people want to go on that big wide pro angler 12 and 14 that's 38 inches wide and 36 inches wide, they have the paddle and they have the robustness of this wood and the strength of this carbon fiber inner shaft where the push button is, and they can really push and dig on those bigger kayaks, which most people don't want to paddle. So again, if you've got a Titan, if you've got an Old Town, or if you've got an Outback, or a pro angler, and you're having trouble really digging and pushing this boat, you go see me on the Impressions Bending Branches. You'll never go wrong. You will sacrifice in weight. It's a little heavier than, say, for instance, the Pro. But what you gain is the rigidness and the stroke and the ability to really dig on those bigger kayaks where it requires the muscle to dig. So again, guys, we're here to show you the differences of what Bending Branches has to offer. Here at OC Kayak, you can find this on OCKayakCo.com. You can call us at 443-625-2925. You can purchase these online. You can call us tomorrow, and we'll have these sent to you immediately. These things are important for your kayak adventure. I don't care if you have a wide kayak or a narrow kayak. We have the paddle to suit you. Come see us, Ocean City Kayak.